There are seasons in life that feel confusing, especially when you look around and see others moving forward in areas where you seem to be waiting. Many women silently ask God, "Why am I still single?" They wonder if something is wrong with them, if they missed their chance, or if they are somehow behind in life. But what many people fail to realize is that God's timing is never accidental. When God allows a season of singleness, it is often because He is doing a deeper work that cannot be rushed. Being single is not a punishment, and it is certainly not a sign of rejection. For a chosen woman, singleness is often a sacred season of preparation. God sometimes separates those He is calling for something greater. He removes distractions, clears the noise, and protects the heart while shaping the destiny. What feels like delay may actually be divine protection. God has kept you single because He is protecting you from the wrong connections. Not everyone who enters your life has the assignment to stay in your life. Some people come carrying confusion, unresolved wounds, hidden motives, and emotional chaos that could disrupt the peace God is slowly building within you. Often when we look back at relationships that ended or opportunities that suddenly closed, we realize later that God was quietly shielding us from pain we did not yet see coming. At the time it may have felt like rejection or loneliness, but in reality it was divine protection. A chosen woman is often guarded in ways she does not immediately understand. God sometimes removes people before their influence becomes too strong. He closes doors before attachment grows too deep. He interrupts relationships that could have delayed your purpose or pulled you away from the direction He has designed for your life. When God separates you from certain connections, it is not punishment. It is mercy. It is wisdom beyond human understanding. God sees the conversations that would have broken your confidence, the environments that would have weakened your spirit, and the emotional battles you would have fought if those relationships had continued. So when God keeps you single for a season, understand that He may simply be protecting the peace, purpose, and destiny He is building inside you. God is developing your identity before attaching you to someone else. One of the greatest dangers in relationships is entering them while still trying to discover who you are. When a person does not know their identity, they often begin to shape themselves around someone else's expectations. They adjust their dreams, silence their voice, and slowly lose pieces of themselves in order to maintain the relationship. But God does not want your identity to be dependent on someone else's validation. He wants you to know your worth long before anyone else speaks into your life. Your value was established the moment God created you, not the moment someone decided to love you in this season of singleness. God may be guiding you through experiences that reveal your strengths, your passions, and your purpose. You begin to understand what matters to you. You discover the standards you refuse to compromise. You grow confident in the gifts God placed inside you. When identity is built through God rather than through relationships, it becomes unshakable. And when you eventually enter a relationship, you do not arrive searching for approval or validation. You arrive as a complete person who understands your calling and refuses to abandon it. This kind of identity creates healthy relationships because it allows two whole individuals to build something meaningful together rather than depending on each other for a sense of worth. God is strengthening your spirit during this season. Relationships are beautiful, but they also require emotional maturity, patience, humility, and wisdom. When two people come together without these qualities, what could have been a blessing can easily turn into a battlefield filled with misunderstanding, insecurity, and unnecessary conflict. God sometimes delays relationships because He is building strength within you first. He is teaching you how to manage emotions, how to respond with wisdom rather than impulse, and how to maintain peace even when situations become difficult. This strengthening process often happens quietly. It may occur through challenges, personal growth, spiritual reflection, or seasons of solitude where you begin to understand yourself on a deeper level. God is shaping your character so that when love eventually enters your life, you will not lose yourself trying to maintain it. You will know how to communicate with patience, how to set healthy boundaries, and how to protect the peace within your spirit. Strong relationships are not built simply on attraction or emotion. They are built on character, maturity, and emotional stability. During this season of singleness, God is preparing you to become the kind of person who can build a relationship that is stable, supportive, and deeply rooted in wisdom. God is teaching you independence. A chosen woman must learn that her peace, her joy, and her stability cannot depend entirely on another human being. When someone has not yet learned how to stand on their own, they may enter relationships searching for someone to rescue them from loneliness, insecurity, or uncertainty. But God desires something greater for you. He wants you to discover your own strength first. He wants you to learn how to make decisions, manage responsibilities, build stability, and trust His guidance without leaning completely on another person. Independence does not mean isolation. It means developing the inner strength to stand confidently in your own life. When a woman understands how to live peacefully while single, she becomes far less likely to accept relationships that disrupt her peace. She becomes selective about who is allowed into her world. She no longer tolerates disrespect, manipulation, or emotional instability simply because she fears being alone. Independence builds confidence, and confidence protects your future. When God teaches you how to stand firmly on your own foundation, any relationship you enter later becomes a partnership rather than a dependency. Two independent individuals building together create something far stronger than two people leaning on each other for survival. God may also be protecting your heart from people who cannot handle your calling. Not everyone is comfortable standing beside someone who carries strong purpose and potential. Some individuals become insecure when they encounter someone who is growing, evolving, and pursuing a meaningful path. Instead of celebrating that growth, they may attempt to control it, compete with it, or slowly diminish it. God understands that certain relationships could weaken your confidence or redirect your focus away from the mission He has given you. So sometimes He keeps you single until the right person appears. Someone who is not intimidated by your purpose but inspired by it. The right partner does not compete with your calling. They respect it, support it, and encourage you to continue growing. But people who are not prepared for your journey may respond differently. They may question your ambitions, discourage your progress, or create emotional tension whenever your life begins to expand. God, in His wisdom, may remove those connections before they have the opportunity to influence your direction. What may appear as delay is often divine alignment. God is ensuring that when someone eventually enters your life, they will not diminish your light, but will stand confidently beside it. God is also using this season to heal wounds you may not even realize you carry. Every person experiences moments of disappointment, broken trust, emotional pain, or difficult family experiences. Sometimes these wounds remain hidden beneath the surface. They may not appear obvious in daily life, but they quietly influence how a person thinks, trusts, communicates, and responds within relationships. If those wounds remain unhealed, they can unintentionally damage even the healthiest connection. God understands this better than anyone. He sees the silent pain, the past experiences, and the emotional patterns that need restoration. During seasons of singleness, God often begins a healing process that brings clarity, forgiveness, and emotional renewal. This healing may occur through reflection, prayer, growth, and time spent understanding yourself more deeply. You begin to release old fears, rebuild trust in yourself, and let go of the pain that once shaped your perspective. Healing prepares your heart for something better. Instead of entering a relationship with fear, insecurity, or emotional baggage, you arrive with a heart that has been restored. When God heals you first, you become capable of building relationships based on trust, peace, and emotional balance rather than unresolved pain. God is building your discernment. Time spent alone with God sharpens your spiritual sensitivity, teaching you to recognize intentions, character, and authenticity in ways that casual experience often cannot. You begin to notice subtle red flags, patterns of manipulation, or behaviors that could harm your peace before they have a chance to take root. This discernment is not born out of cynicism or fear. It is cultivated through prayer, reflection, and attentive observation, guided by God's wisdom. The longer you spend in alignment with His presence, the more naturally you can sense whether someone's heart and values align with yours. Discernment protects you from people who may appear charming, impressive, or well-intentioned, but are ultimately incompatible with your purpose. It allows you to move through relationships with clarity, avoiding unnecessary heartbreak, disappointment, or compromise. In a world where many are guided by emotion alone, a woman with discernment moves deliberately and wisely. She is confident in setting boundaries and saying no when something is not aligned with her calling. God sharpens this skill within you during this season of singleness, so that when the right person comes along, you can embrace them with confidence rather than uncertainty. Singleness allows you to focus on your purpose without distraction. Relationships, while beautiful and fulfilling, require significant emotional energy, time, and mental focus. When two people are deeply invested in one another, their priorities often shift toward maintaining the connection, sometimes at the expense of personal goals, spiritual growth, or professional ambitions. God may intentionally give you a season of singleness to ensure that your attention is fully dedicated to your personal growth, spiritual development, and life mission. In this time, you can explore your talents, expand your knowledge, strengthen your skills, and deepen your faith without compromise. You can dedicate yourself fully to the things God has placed in your heart, laying a strong foundation for the future without the distraction of divided priorities. This season allows you to grow in confidence, focus, and clarity, equipping you to pursue life at the highest level. By prioritizing your purpose, you also position yourself to attract the right partner, someone who respects your mission and desires to contribute to your shared growth rather than hinder it. God's timing ensures that when love enters your life, it does not pull you away from what you were designed to achieve. God may be rewriting your standards. Often people make decisions in relationships based on temporary attractions, appearances, charm, or fleeting emotions. These surface-level qualities are not enough to sustain the kind of relationship God intends for you. In this season, He may be transforming your heart to value integrity, loyalty, faithfulness, and character above all else. Your understanding of what you truly need and deserve becomes clearer. You begin to recognize that genuine love is rooted in respect, shared values, emotional maturity, and spiritual alignment, not in superficial qualities or temporary excitement. God refines your desires so that you no longer settle for what is convenient, attractive, or emotionally satisfying alone. Instead, you learn to wait for a love that aligns with your purpose, one that strengthens your spirit rather than challenges your peace. This process may feel like refining in fire. It requires patience, discernment, and sometimes waiting longer than you expected, but the result is a standard that protects your heart and ensures that you attract a relationship that honors God, honors you, and honors your future together. God is teaching you patience. Patience is not merely the ability to wait. It is the active cultivation of trust, understanding, and resilience during seasons of delay. Waiting on the right person, the right opportunity, or the right circumstances is never easy. Society pressures us to hurry, to conform, and to fill voids quickly, especially in the realm of relationships. But God wants you to develop endurance, confidence, and faith in His timing. Every moment of waiting is not wasted, it is a moment of preparation. During this time, you learn to enjoy your own company, to find contentment in your current circumstances, and to trust that what is meant for you will not pass you by. Patience equips you with the strength to resist impulsive choices driven by fear or loneliness. It teaches you that some of the most valuable and enduring blessings come to those who wait with intention and faith. By learning patience, you not only grow closer to God, but also prepare yourself to enter relationships without desperation, compromise, or fear, creating space for love that is both healthy and divine in timing. God is separating you from environments that do not align with your future. Relationships often tether individuals to lifestyles, habits, or social circles that do not reflect their higher purpose. Sometimes, remaining in certain environments while pursuing meaningful goals can slow down growth, limit opportunities, or distract from the calling God has placed on your life. By removing these attachments, even if it feels isolating, God is creating a space where your life can expand and flourish. The separation may feel uncomfortable or lonely at first, but it allows you to build new habits, cultivate new relationships, and embrace environments that nurture your future. This process also protects you from influences that may have hindered your character, decision-making, or spiritual growth. God's guidance is intentional, aligning your surroundings with the person you are becoming. When the right relationships and opportunities arrive, they enter a life that is ready, stable, and fully aligned with His purpose. In this way, the season of singleness is not a punishment. It is divine preparation, providing the clarity and space needed to step fully into your calling. God is helping you build a deeper relationship with Him. Seasons of singleness often bring a woman closer to God than she has ever been before. Without the distractions, compromises that can accompany a relationship, you can focus fully on prayer, reflection, and communion with the Creator. This closeness deepens your understanding of God's character, strengthens your faith, and builds spiritual clarity that can guide every decision you make. As you learn to rely on God for comfort, guidance, and affirmation, you develop a sense of peace and confidence that is independent of external validation. Your spiritual foundation becomes unshakable, providing a firm base from which all other relationships will grow. In learning to trust Him fully, you also learn to recognize His timing, understand His wisdom, and follow His guidance without fear. This deepening of faith prepares you to enter relationships with intention and alignment, ensuring that love is entered into from a place of spiritual strength rather than dependency or insecurity. God is teaching you self-love. One of the most transformative lessons a woman can learn during singleness is the value of her own worth. When you understand that your presence, your thoughts, and your boundaries are important, you stop accepting treatment that diminishes your spirit or dishonors your value. Self-love is not selfishness. It is recognition that God created you intentionally, with unique gifts, purpose, and beauty that no one else can replace. When you cultivate self-love, you become selective about the relationships and interactions you allow into your life. You learn to protect your peace, prioritize your needs, and honor your calling without guilt or fear. The right partner will respect your boundaries, celebrate your identity, and complement your life without attempting to complete it. By learning self-love first, you ensure that your future relationships are built on mutual respect, emotional maturity, and spiritual alignment, rather than on neediness, insecurity, or compromise. God may be preparing someone else at the same time He's preparing you. While you are growing, healing, and learning to walk fully in your purpose, the person meant for you is likely undergoing their own season of preparation. They too may be learning lessons about patience, integrity, responsibility, and faith. God orchestrates these journeys with perfect timing so that when your paths finally converge, both of you are fully equipped to contribute to a relationship that glorifies Him. This simultaneous preparation ensures that neither of you enters the union seeking to fix, complete, or rescue the other. Instead, the meeting is a divine alignment of two individuals who are strong, whole, and ready to build something lasting. Understanding this helps you remain patient and steadfast, knowing that the right person will appear when both of your lives are aligned with God's timing, rather than when human impatience pushes you to settle prematurely. God sometimes delays relationships so that your life is not built on dependency. True partnership is never about one person completing the other. It is about two complete individuals coming together to create something meaningful. Dependency in a relationship often leads to compromise, sacrifice of purpose, or imbalance in power and influence. God desires for you to arrive at a place where you are strong, independent, and self-aware, so that the love you experience is not rooted in fear, insecurity, or need, but in respect, collaboration, and shared vision. The waiting season trains you to stand firm on your own, while remaining open to companionship that complements your life, rather than reshapes it. By embracing this truth, you learn to trust God's timing, rely on your own strength, and develop the wisdom to recognize a healthy, purpose-driven relationship when it comes. God is teaching you that loneliness does not define your value. Society often pressures women to believe that being single is synonymous with being incomplete or inadequate, but a chosen woman understands that her worth is independent of relationship status. God has already established your significance, purpose, and beauty long before anyone else offered affection or attention. Loneliness is simply a season, not a verdict. It is a time to cultivate strength, deepen faith, and understand yourself more fully. In learning to enjoy your own company, pursue your goals, and nurture your spirit, you come to a place where you are whole and content on your own. This realization protects you from entering relationships out of fear or social pressure, ensuring that any love that comes into your life enhances what is already strong, rather than filling an empty space. God is refining your wisdom. Every season of waiting is a classroom where lessons about boundaries, priorities, and emotional intelligence are taught in subtle yet powerful ways. Through challenges, reflection, and observation, you learn to distinguish between what is temporary and what is eternal, between surface-level attraction and genuine character, between fleeting emotions and steadfast commitment. These lessons equip you with discernment, patience, and perspective that will protect your heart when the right relationship comes. Wisdom cultivated in solitude ensures that when love appears, it is approached with clarity, intentionality, and alignment with God's purpose. You no longer rush into decisions or ignore red flags because you have learned to value yourself, your calling, and your future above momentary satisfaction. God is building your confidence and preparing you for something greater than you imagined. Time alone with Him teaches you to recognize your strengths, gifts, and potential. You begin to see that your life is far bigger than what society defines or what others expect. Every challenge, every lesson, and every moment of growth is shaping you into a person ready to receive the blessings and opportunities God has prepared. When the right person arrives, you will enter the relationship as a confident, whole individual whose life is aligned with God's plan, ready to contribute fully to a partnership built on purpose, faith, and mutual respect. Remember, God never withholds something good without preparing something far better. Your waiting is never wasted. Every moment is a preparation for the fullness of His blessings. Finally, remember this truth. God has kept you single because He is preparing you, protecting you, and perfecting you. Every experience, lesson, and moment of growth is intentional. If this message has touched your heart at the exact moment you needed it, take a step of faith and type 11 in the comment section below for divine blessings. Subscribe to this channel to continue receiving powerful messages that uplift, encourage, and guide you in your journey as a chosen woman. Your season of preparation is not empty. It is sacred, meaningful, and leading to a destiny far greater than you can imagine. Trust His timing, embrace your growth, and know that the best is yet to come. If this message reached you at the exact moment you needed encouragement, take it as a reminder that your season of singleness is not a mistake. It is part of God's divine plan for your life. Trust the process, trust the preparation, and trust that what God has written for your future will arrive at the right time. This is the Woman of Life channel. If this message spoke to your heart, make sure you subscribe and stay connected for more messages of encouragement and spiritual insight. Also, if you believe you received this message exactly when you needed it, type 1111 in the comment section as a declaration of divine alignment and blessings over your life. Thank you for watching.